Let us see our next question. A US company has been offered a contract for constructing a dam in an underdeveloped country for which it shall be paid in Peasas, the local currency of that country. The construction cost will be, the construction will be completed in 1 year. On completion, the United States company will receive 3,000 million pesos. The project requires an immediate spending of 2,000 million pesos. The US company requires a return of 10% in dollar term. Highlight the portion in dollar term. Given the following rates, should the project be accepted? Spot exchange rate is given to us as 50 pesos per dollar and expected spot exchange rate after 1 year is given. It is 48 pesos per dollar. You are required to answer the following questions. First, whether the project should be accepted. Second, will your answer change if the bank offers a currency swap? So the new concept that we are going to study in this question is currency swap. On the following terms, US company may lend $40 million to the bank for 1 year at zero interest rate. Bank will lend US company 2,000 million pesos for 1 year at 10% interest per annum interest. The loan and interest to be paid in pesos currency. That is the question. So I want you to write answer in the, that is for the first part of the question, that's whether the project should be accepted or not. Please write your answer in the chat box. So friends, over here, let us have understanding of the information of the question. Year 0, end of year 1. As per the given information, we are required to make investment of 2,000 million pesos. As against that, say we are going to get 3,000 million pesos after 1 year. What is exchange rate? Spot exchange rate is 50 pesos per dollar. And we are expecting that after 1 year it will be 48 pesos per dollar. So please use your calculator. 2,000 million divided by 50, that comes to $40 million. That is the investment to be made right now. Use your calculator. 3,000 upon 48, so it is $62.5 million to be received after 1 year. Now see the time period of the project is only 1 year. So either you can do answer with the future value term or present value term. Usually we are doing present value, so I am doing present value. 62.5 divided by 1.1, that comes to 56.82. 8182 is $82 million. And with that, so the NPV is found. It is $16.82 million. That is the way the NPV of the project can be calculated in year 0 term. And since NPV is positive, so we can say that say based on expected spot exchange rate, the project is worth accepting. Second part of the question, will your answer change? It means that say we are required to compute the revised answer. If the bank offers currency swap on the following terms, we have been provided with the terms. Looking to this information, I want you to make the calculation of the revised NPV once again in dollar currency term. I want NPV answer in dollar currency term, taking into account the information in the second part of the question, which is technically given a name as currency swap. Now in second part of the question, what will happen, let us understand. Of course, we are required to do the second part of the question again from the US committee point of view. Listen carefully. What will happen in the year 0, that is right now, I will give loan of $40 million to like the bank of that country. I will lend 40 million. So this cash outflow for my pocket? Yes. What is the interest? 0. So at the end of the 1 year, what I will receive? I will receive an amount of $40 million. No interest. Okay. The bank will lend to me. Okay. They will give loan to me. 2000 million Peasas. Why this loan is given? So that I can make investment in the project. So the amount received by me has been invested in the project. Okay. So inflow outflow same amount. So I am not writing it. I have to pay interest at 10%. What amount will I receive? 3000 million Peasas at the end of first year. So what I receive, listen carefully. 3000 million Peasas minus the loan is required to be repaid. Yes. 2000 plus 10%. Yes. 2200. Yes. So what is the surplus? Surplus is 800 million Peasas. I am expecting at the end of year the exchange rate will be 48. So converting this into dollar currency, I'll get 16.676667 million dollar. So the total amount which I'm going to get is 56.66667 million. Discounting the same in present value term, I'll get 51.5152. Year 0 there was cash outflow 40. So NPV is 15.5152. And this is what we understand is the effect of currency swap. So this is the way the transaction takes place in case of currency swap. Now let us have understanding that say of the logic for this transaction. Now basically what happens at say the countries like United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, the companies say who do business over there, whenever they have to say do business in any underdeveloped country, then in that case they have a fear, of substantial depreciation of the foreign currency. That is, after 1 year, instead of 48, it may happen that say this becomes 200 Peasas per dollar. Like we know that say underdeveloped countries like South Africa, in that is Tanzania, Uganda, then we have say number of examples like Afghanistan. At these places, what happens at say the currency fluctuation is very high. So having receipt of that currency is say subject to a huge risk. So what US company is doing, listen carefully. US company is approaching a bank over there and asking that I am giving dollar currency to you. I do not want anything else. But you just give me say this amount of the dollar back to me. Why? Because if at all the after 1 year the exchange rate is 200 Peasas per dollar and I have to convert that say Pesa currency into dollar currency, there will be a huge loss that I will be having. So just to protect that loss, what I am doing, say I am entering into the transaction of the currency swap. So at least for the investment which I have made, say I will be having a security. And so the forward contracts are number of times not available so for these currencies for a very long period of time. Why? Because say there is no trade in the market, number of participants are less, demand of that currency is less, so nobody wants to take a risk for this kind of currency for 1 year. During this 1 year, there can be number of political changes, number of the natural calamity or something like that, that may happen, and because of that, nobody wants to take risk. So by entering into this swap, what will happen? Say, as far as a US company is concerned, they will be having foreign exchange risk only in respect of this amount of the profit, nothing else. That is the reason, so the US company would be happy to make payment of interest. Why? Because I have to pay interest in their currency only. I am going to have the receipt in their currency. So to that extent, I don't have foreign exchange risk. And I'm not too much bothered for getting the interest income. I'm just bothered for getting at least my investment back. That is the reason I'm happy with even no interest. Because you can just think that if at all the exchange rate is, let us say 200 Peasas per dollar, then 3000 divided by 200, it will be only say $15 million. And it can happen like this for this kind of countries.